We just saw an interesting game at Orlando Amstel Arena, where Orlando Pirates played Strict FC. Maxim Tombeni's team based Kwamhlanga in Mpumalanga. I'm so proud of Castric FC. It's actually good seeing an NFD team going through the next stage because it's very clear how they played. They wanted to go for penalties, but I'm not the one who's gonna go and break down the match. I've got a guy, Coach KP, who was inside Orlando Stadium, now called Orlando Amstel Arena. We also saw Mamelodi Sundowns bowing out against TS Galaxy. Of course, it was expected looking at the Sundowns lineup. It didn't look that much strong. Obvious. Most of their key players were out. Williams, Mdao. So the players who you might say it's Sundowns, like even Brian Leon didn't start. The key players like Jaden Adams, who were praising during the week, were not part of the team. One would say Sundowns deserve to lose because they underestimated TS Galaxy. They thought they can just change the team like that. Just like Orlando Pirates, one would say they didn't treat this game against Castric Stars as a serious match, hence they lost. Coach, how are you and how was Orlando Stadium? Please give us an overview, Coach, how you saw the game, what impresses you. As you know, when you're at the stadium, I was relying on what MultiChoice was showing me, the commentary of Mark Listen and William Shongwe. Yeah, watching football, coach, at home is not nice, coach. It's not nice, coach.
Gila, thank you for having me, man. Not everyone gets always a chance to go, so hence why when you get a chance, you must go to the arena or whatever stadium. Well, going straight into the game, Nadim, we'll start with the home side, Orlando Pirates playing at Orlando Amstel Arena, and then they are playing up against a team in the lower league division, Keswick. I think everyone had written it off that Pirates would win that game. I think I was also one of those people that wrote it off to say no, Pirates is go definitely. Instead of them fighting, they stay away from the stadium or from the field. I looked at the attendance today; it was poor. It's not what you expect from at the arena, and you can tell there's vibes in between that maybe it could be the results from during the week. Maybe people did not accept that results, hence why they stayed away. And then you go into the game again, you look at the Pirates that played. So for me, they did not show hunger.
Coach,
For me,
I agree with you. When you watch the game on TV, the attendance was poor as Pirates have been since the beginning of the year. You go to the game against Magesi or Skuku or Marumo Gallants, the attendance was electrifying. Even though by the second half it looks like the attendance was decent, but it was not the same. I guess Orlando Pirates are not impressed. They don't have a problem with losing, but sometimes the mistake of coaches playing wrong players and favoritism, maybe the fans are noticing that they get irritated with that.
yeah, well, Nadim, it could be that you never know the reasons for other fans. But I've spoken to few fans and some of the super fans, and they tell you know what, Pirates fans, instead of them fighting and doing that, they'll rather stay away from the game. I mean, I just unfortunately, I'm not sure if the gentleman would be happy if I mention his name, so I won't. I heard him saying if they do go and lose against Chiefs, you will see that Pirates fans do understand their game, so they will definitely stay away. And I'm thinking if that's the case, then I think it's only fair that you stay away instead of going to the stadium and shouting or booing the team. You know, Najim, going straight to the game, I looked at this Pirates starting lineup. The only absent player who was there, who's not a regular player, was Usiema. And I see Chawasani coming in. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a team that could play Mamelodi Sundowns or Chiefs or any other team at any given day. They are playing up against Keswick. And then you are thinking, okay, then with the fact that they just lost to Mamelodi Sundowns, they want to redeem themselves. They want to pay back to the fans. But you look at how they play, Nadim. I think first half it was one shot on target from Urile Mufukeng, very sloppy from the back. Paris couldn't combine too many passes. They kept losing the ball. Tito lost few balls. I think everyone was just losing the ball. It was just sloppy. It was just sloppy. They didn't look like a team that is wounded. They didn't look like a team that wants to kill Kesrick as early as possible. I don't know what's the reason for that, but it wasn't impressive, especially in the first half. I was just not happy, and I'm a bit concerned with hearing most fans at the stadium. Whenever Tito lost the ball, they would boo, but whenever others lose the ball, you wouldn't hear much of the noise in the stadium. I'm like, oh, is he now becoming an scapegoat? Because you also see Uko Juwaru taking him off again on the 60th minute. If you look at even the previous games, he gets to be played in as a sub and then he gets to be taken out as a sub. I don't understand. I really don't get it. I still don't understand why doesn't Wadu see the intelligence of Utito. I mean, the whole team today was a bit flat. Yes, really tried. Yes, we saw Umremi trying on the other side, but for me, that's the guy who was supposed to be subbed very early, very, very early. I think Umremi was changed more than 5 times. Nadim, there's a time where he was playing as a right. He started as a right. They moved him to the left to see if it's working, moved back to the right, moved him to the left. Already, if you move around player like that and you don't get results, it's already telling you that whatever that you're trying to do, it's not working. You bring Ozwinopolis, you still keep Moremi in, and then you move him to the left, it still doesn't work. And then you still go on and you bring Daba out, you bring Hoto off. Moremi, it doesn't work. And then the last time when you feel no, now it's time to take Moremi out, you bring Sendai. To do what? I mean, you've got the one of the good players playing poor, and then you just went from poor to the worst player to come and change the game. I don't understand what was Wadi thinking. In his thinking, was it that a matter of Umsendan will come and change the game? For me, that didn't make sense. I think tactically, Wadu didn't have answers for what do you call this, for Kesrick. Because one, as Orlando Pirates, you ask yourself, if you go to halftime, one shot on target, I think that's already a question. It's a huge, huge question you need to be asking yourself. You see Sibilibili starting off the bench, the same player that the coach trusted to start against Mamelodi Sundowns. Against Kesrick, he doesn't trust him to start. Okay, so I think he got this tactic wrong. I honestly think he got these tactics wrong, and they didn't work. And he came against a team that was well coached, well drilled. So my overview, Nadim, I think Kesrick came prepared. They were prepared to play Mamelodi Sundowns. They had a plan. They had a game plan. They knew what they wanted out of this game, and they got exactly that. There's a few players that I saw that I think they played very well. They're just number 36. I forgot his name and I had it. And the goalkeeper. I mean, those guys played very, very crucial game. And I mean, they restricted Pirates. There's not too many chances. Yes, in the second half, Pirates was buzzing but
Interesting thing about the goalkeeper coach is the son of the coach, Baxum Tomben, and the goalkeeper is an Orlando Pirates supporter. So that's an interesting thing that I would like to highlight. He looks solid. I was watching the game, and the people I was watching with, they were so impressed with the goalkeeper. It looks so decisive. I mean, from the first half. That's why on first half, actually, it came to me that it looked like Castrick are playing to go all the way on penalties, and it worked, coach.
yeah, I mean, it's true. It worked. Maybe he's trying to say to Pirates, or here, I'm here. Maybe give me a chance. I mean, if you look at the first 5 minutes, I stand to be corrected. But I think the team that created almost half-cut chances was Kesrick, where they pressed on Pirates and then they went on to them. It's them that created those chances. And then that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Pirates, if the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Pirates took a toll on the Pirates players. But I would have loved to see, or I thought maybe what would rotate his team. I mean, I didn't see Mbule playing, and I asked myself, Mbule was good enough to stay on the bench for Pirates against Mamelodi Sundowns, but it's not good enough to even sit on the bench against Kesrick. Okay, you look at it there, and so I'm questioning the idea of you start Usibilibili ahead of Van Rooyen when you're playing Sundowns, but when you play Kesrick, you prefer Van Rooyen over Sibilibili. I personally feel Wadu got his tactic wrong, Nadim. He got his tactics wrong. And then also the players, technically, I think we were poor. Pirates was very, very poor technically. I mean, the losing of the ball, not creating enough chances. It's just that the technical ability was not on song today. And yeah, man. And you know, Nadim, I don't
Coach,
like
please give me a roundup from the goalkeeper since we're at the stadium, and then
Yeah,
until the
the
Jong. Just
striker.
coach, just a quick summary, coach, in each and every position from obviously Sipombule, then Tabatsan and Sibisi, Otto, Van Rooyen. I'm interested to know, coach, because there are a lot of things people are saying about Nemate Jela and also Sibisi, and as well as Umlung De Jong.
Okay, for me, Usipo Chene did what was expected out of him. He did his best. He saved even a penalty. There's a shot where Uhoto made a mistake and he saved it. So for me, I think Usipo did his job. Van Rooyen, I mean, come on, man. 9 out of 10. Going forward, there wasn't much, but primary job of a defender is to defend. I think he did well. Dion Hoto, he was doing very well. I don't understand why was he subbed off. Instead of subbing off Dion Hoto, he could have just easily brought off Umremi and keep Uhodo there for Ndaba. I don't understand that. Sibisi will get attacked now, Nadim. He will get attacked. But it's funny how most Pirates fans tend to look at things now. CBC has never been a comfortable defender. He's just the defender that will go and chase everything that is there. I think he still has space in that team. Uchabatsan, I'm not sold, Nadim. I'm sorry. There's few things that I saw about him, and I'm thinking maybe we are comparing him to Umbogazi. It's too far. He's too far-fetched from Umbogazi. Maybe that's why that's the pressure that comes to him. I think he still needs time. He still needs time. The very same Chavatani, I heard people saying we could have started him against Sundowns. I'm telling you, Nadim, we're gonna get more than what we got. I don't think he's there. So for now, for me, I will still stick to Usibisi and CM for now, and then allow Uchavatani to quickly just gel in. Oh, Makehleni Makaula didn't have much to do. That's why I didn't understand also why keep him so long in the team. He could have just simply subbed him off and just attack the team. You know, with Unam Tanjela, Nadim, go back and look at the games where he played with Unduli. Whenever he played with Unduli, the boy was shining. But ever since the injury of Unduli, Namtangela hasn't been the same player. He has never been the same player. And I think now he's no longer playing with faith, he's no longer playing with freedom because of maybe supporters are really getting to him, you see. So I think Mbata is being missed. He is being missed right now. And I think if Mbata is fully fit, I think because I don't know, but I didn't see on the website that Mbata is injured, but the coach says he's injured, so I don't understand. Maybe the media house is a bit behind, but yeah, I think he was missed. Tito, for me, Tito had a fair game. He just had a flat game, just like any other team player in the Orlando Pirates team. But I think he's becoming a scapegoat for coach to say, I can simply sub you off, it's fine. And then both the wingers, Moremi, the less said, the better. That's just how I feel. Nadim, if you play Moremi on the right, you don't need a defender to mark him. That's one thing that I've seen. Moremi, the moment you put him on the right, you are marking him completely, because they want to use his pace. He's not a smart player. He wants to use his pace, and that's why he's more lethal. Go look at the goals that he has scored at Pirates. Most of them, they are on the left side. I think the only goal he has scored was against a Stellenbosch. Yeah, a very good goal on the right. That's the only goal. Other than that, no. Relay he had a fair chance as well. You could see that he wants to do something, but it just wasn't working. Udiong Tumlungu, the only number 14 at Orlando Pirates. Yo, Nadim, take nothing away from Dion. Dion is a good player. Let's not be fooled by how he played. He is a good player. But Nadim, you know, it's Scotini, when things don't go right, when it seems like everything just went wrong. So I think he didn't have a good game as well. And now you ask yourself, was it really worth it to loan out to Mabasa? Questions. I don't think it was a good move. We see Mahopa, they're saying also he got a knock. We don't see on the website. Maybe the website is a bit old. So overall view, I think the only players that did well for me, you would give it to Van Roy and give it to Usipo Chaine. I really, man, I think it was a 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10. He just had a fair game. What else on the other side, Kesrick, I feel they did extremely well. Everyone is saying Kesrick was playing a low block, but I don't think that was the case. Kesrick's blocked all those half turns. They blocked all the channels that Pirates normally attacks. And they didn't deploy a back five. No, they played a 4-3-3. And it showed that as long as you want it, you can go. I think they do deserve a win. And I also saw a very disturbing move, Nadim, sorry to drag it, which I didn't understand. I saw an official of Orlando Pirates telling the ball boys, I'll try and share the video with you. Hopefully you can be able to post it. He's telling the ball boys to go and steal a towel for the keeper. And in my head, I'm like, is that really worth it? I don't know if it's a towel or what, but why do that? This is the same thing that we're complaining just during AFCON. But seeing that, I thought, are we really under pressure that we have to play those mind games at the level of Kesrick? It was poor to see. So I think Coach Warren needs to go back to the drawing board, and hopefully Mapagadea are not very angry because there's a big game coming. There's a big game that is coming. He's gonna get the whole week to rest. So There's a lot that the coach could have done, man. There's a lot of players that Pirates have that could have came in and played. You could have went back to get Udlamini. You could have went back to get Usesani to come in and play. I think had you lost with those kind of players, Usesani, Bodlamini, even Radio Pan, I think people were going to understand and say, you know what, it's better because he was trying these new players that haven't been playing for long. But to lose with your first team again, Kesderix,
One would
I
say, coach, okay, coach, one would say, what about the fact that Siema was out of the team? Is the player that has been exciting this season? What's your take about him not being out, not being in the team, actually?
Nadim, players like Siema, they are easy escape goals. Those are youngsters. It's easy to sub him off. I was speaking to one guy at the stadium. I'm like, okay, fine, let's take UCVC off. Who do you now hand over the umbrella to? Remember, it was handed to Umbogas, and I think that was a smart move from Uwadu at the beginning. I didn't agree to it, but as I see it now, it was smart to give Umbogas because you can simply take UCVC off and keep Umbogas as a captain. But now, if Umbogas is gone, Togi is out injured, the only captain that is left is UCVC. So if you're going to take CVC out, who are you giving the umbrella? Are you giving Cheney? Are you giving Hoto? I think with Siema it's easy. It's very easy to take him out. He's young, he's new to the team. Hey, when you take CVC out and you're losing the dressing room, the coach is also trying to protect his job, Nadim. This is where the coach tries and get all the players that are influential closer to him. Hence why I think he keeps playing Tito. He plays Tito, but he always sub him off. But for the fact that he's playing, he still has so much for him. And I honestly don't understand why OCM is taken out. Because for me, he's been the top defender at Orlando Pirates this season.
Yeah, coach. I think the coach, the only reason Siema didn't play is because he treated this team like an NFD team and it backfired. He was trying the combination of Tabatan on the left side and Smith on the right side. Of course, no one can say it didn't work because Paris didn't concede a goal. Hoto was taken off. I don't know why, because it looks like he's more offensive minded. He's very good going. He was the one who was putting pressure. But when he came in, every cross that he crossed was bad. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of Ndaba. I won't lie to you, coach. I will always go with CBC. I believe if you play Ndaba, start with him, then he grows with the game. I'm not saying he's a bad defender. Yes, I agree with you on the right side that Dino van Rooyen, there was nothing much. But the problematic thing, coach, that I feel is costing Pirates now. People that don't say it is CBC. CBC is costing Pirates. Is a leader of Orlando Pirates. Yes, defensively, Pirates didn't concede. You can't say he didn't do well. But offensively, is he helping Pirates? Because remember Mbogazi. Mbogazi was a defender, but at the same time was lifting the other players. There was a time where he will even score beautiful goals, where he will assist in terms of putting pressure offensively. I believe that a leader must be a captain, must be someone who gonna lift the team. Just like Happy Chele used to do that. Just like Hilekwati used to do that. Just like Ronan Williams is doing that at Sundowns. Just like different captains in different clubs. I don't have the feeling that CBC is the number one center back at Pirates. I believe Sesana is needed as soon as possible. I've been saying that and I'm going to say it again. It was a mistake for Orlando Pirates to release Nda. I think Nda, Sesana, they are a good combination. Even with Siema now, I mean, it's a good discovery. It's a very good addition. I think people might say Pirates are not conceding a lot of goals, but when you look at CBC, you don't get the sense of him lifting the team to be better. Example of that, coach, he took a. So when it comes to CBC, I feel CBC is one of those players who is not doing justice for Orlando Pirates. He's not improving the team. He's not lifting the team up. I honestly feel that a captain must be someone who's going to improve the team. I think Pirates made a mistake, on a serious note, by releasing Mbogazi. Mbogazi was not supposed to be released in the middle of the season. He was supposed to be released end of the season. That's how I feel it. Pirates now, you get to the point where you feel they are weaker than they were in the first round. In the first round, they had Mabasa, who will come in and score goals. He already scored 4 goals in the first round, was released. And then you've got Mbogazi, who was a captain, who was leading Pirates, getting man of the match, lifting the team up. I mean, there will be time where Police will get a man of the match, but we'll give credit to Mbogazi that he's the one who was the best player on the pitch. Pirates released him. For me, the day they released Mbogazi, I questioned if Pirates really want to win the league. I thought it was a very, very bad decision. Honestly speaking, even now, people might say Pirates are yet to concede a goal. Or okay, they've conceded 2 in the league. But before sundown, they will say they've been keeping a clean sheet. But that's not only the job of a captain. Sometimes you need a captain who's going to lift the team up, who's going to also be assisting offensively. We've seen players like Kilekwati. When it matters, they will move forward and even score beautiful goals and attack the team. So sometimes we need leaders like that. And then if you move also offensively, I don't understand the wisdom. I agree with the coach when he said Orlando Pirates should have not released Mabasa. Then you don't replace him. Or if I'm replace her with De Jong. De Jong has never given us the same number of goals. Could it be Etamazulu or Stellenbosch of Mabasa? Pirates to release Mabasa for whatever reason. Maybe they wanted to release him, sure, to release him, but to replace him, they've not replaced him. So you get to the point where you feel Orlando Pirates are a weakened strength compared to the first round. In the first round, sure, they won 2 trophies. They've been topping the log. They were chasing Sundown successfully up until they're on top of the log. But is this Pirates team better than what they were in the first round? The interesting thing now is that Pirates are left with 15 games, coach, this season. That's it. If they win the next 15 games, they can win the league, coach. That is that is where they are now. Are they the better team than the first round? I honestly think no, they are weaker than they were in the first round, simply because they released Mbogazi. Since they released Mabasa, they released Nda. Even though Nda was not playing, we know when fully fit what he can do. We're talking about Tabatsani, we're talking about a team where all the defenders cannot even kick a penalty. Hey, coach, I don't know what your take about the defenders who can't take penalties.
Nandip, you know, you're touching on points that I never thought of. You are saying, but no, let's fix it first. I think Pirates has 13 games left because I get it, they are on what, 50? Yeah, they've got 13. They're on
No,
17.
I'm saying, coach, they're only left with 13 games this season. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
They need to
you're
play
looking at
13 games. If they win all the 13 games, they win the league. That's it.
Yeah.
The Nedbank Cup is out, the Champions League out in the first round.
Well, Nadim, you know, when it comes to defenders, we all know, man, in most cases, defenders should be able to take the penalty easy. But my coach used to say a player that can pass the ball should be able to score penalties. And let's look at players that miss the penalties for Pirates. Sirisi, not a good pass of the ball. Chavatani. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sold. I watched him trying to switch the balls. Yes, he's a good player. He's got that left, but his balls don't really reach the player. And then Ndaba. And if you look at the penalties, you know there's a time where UCBC went to the team to force Ndaba to take a penalty because no one was standing to take a penalty. So already, that on its own, that's when I knew, it's never going to work. It's not going to work. Because, I mean, a team like Orlando Pirates, Nadim, you are playing against Kesrick. You are being forced to go and take a penalty. That alone, it's a hazard. That alone is a mistake. Why should we force you to take a penalty where else you are playing? You are wearing a black and white at the arena. So that alone, I deem it was very bad to see. And then also being able, you know, you just mentioned something. Has Pirates been weakened with the transfer? And we spend too much time on the on TikTok. You know, one guy once said, I don't like the fact that the coach is only going to Marumo Gallants to get players, or majority players are from Marumo Gallants. They are not proven. And I thought, for me, let's give him a benefit of a doubt because we are looking at the fact that he worked with them. But I am looking at, is it Umsendani, the number 40, the sub? Nadim. Nah. I think we could have done better there. If we are trying to get a player who's going to come in and get goals for us, I think you would have even went to who's this boy at Stellenbosch? Is it not Van Rooyen? I forgot his name. The pacey one.
It's Titus.
Titus. I think I would have went with Titus. I don't think the boy Msandani is giving us much, to be honest. And if you really look at the players that they've let go, Nadim, I'm looking at them now as you're saying. Mbogazi, we went for Chavatani. I think we were trying to make a quick replacement. It's not working. Not now. Maybe with time we will see. He's not a bad player. Chabazan is not a bad player. Don't get me wrong. But he still needs time. He still needs time to adjust. He still needs time to understand what is happening. You let Mabasa, who was on almost this, I think he was a top goal scorer ahead of all the strikers with less games. you let him go, and then during the interviews, you hear the coach saying he doesn't want lazy players. You can't sort out your issues with Monna Pule Saleng. You go, you get Msenda. You see, I think Paris didn't when it comes to the January transfer. I think Paris flopped, and for first time, I agree with you. For the first time, I think January transfer they flopped. They flopped, and it's starting to show now. Let us not write them off as yet, Nadim. Let us not write them off now. They are not always going to be under pressure. Yes, they are playing Derby coming up, but after Derby, things might start going easy and the other teams might start losing as well. So I think they still have a chance to push Sundowns all the way.
Definitely, coach, they have a chance of pushing Sundowns all the way, but I will never understand the decision of signing Msendam. Msendam, even at Marumo Gallants, played 17 games and scored 1 goal. Even in Botswana, he was struggling at Jwaneng Galaxy. What is it that convinced him that he's a good player? He has never been a good player anyway. Msendam, I don't understand the decision to sign. I will never understand it. Even De Jong, to be honest with you, the person who convinced me that De Jong was a good signing is Kola Mlambo. He said no, he played with him at Amazulu, he's very good offensively, he can play as a striker or as a number 10. But from what I'm seeing, no, it's not a good signing, coach. I don't even want to lie. I think Pirates overall they did a bad business in the transfer window, especially in January. Maybe in the first round of the season, Dooley was a good addition, Apolis was a good addition, Morem was a good addition, CMO was a good addition. Maybe in the first round we can give them a pass. They did well. Credit to them. Result is the trophies they've won and all those kind of things. But now the players they recruited in January, all of them, they are not even Paris material. All of them. Tabatsan is not a Paris player. He might as well go back to Marumo Gallants at one point in time. De Jong doesn't look like he's gonna work at Pirates. He's trying so hard. I don't think it's gonna work. He doesn't have that intelligence of Mabasa. He doesn't have that strategy of Mahopa. There's nothing he offers in the team. That's the thing. He offers nothing. Even against an NFD team, you can't fault Wadu for starting him against a team from First Division. Obvious. I mean, the guy has just been bought. I'm sure he's getting paid a lot of money and all those kind of things. You can't say the coach, he should have not started De Jong. Where is he going to start if he can't start against Castrick? He offered nothing. So I think Pirates really struggled in the transfer window in January. It's time the coach he make peace with the dressing room. He make peace with Kabelo Dlamini. He make peace with Mbata. We make peace with Mahopa. Because those players are not injured. The only 2 players who are injured at Orlando Pirates is Libitso and Kogi. The rest are not. Even Libitso, I hear that is not injured. So the coach needs to make peace with all the players that are available. All this thing of saying players are not injured when they are not injured, also coach is not good. Because you reach a point where you feel the Pirates supporters are being disrespected. When did Mbata get injured? When did Mahopa get injured? When is Mbule got injured? It's easy to say a player when he's not playing is not injured. When I want to know if the player is injured, I look at the Pirates website. There's nowhere in the Pirates website, coach, where it says Mahopa is injured. The coach just announced. And even the way I announced it, coach, it's like was shocked. Yeah, he's injured. Even Bata, when did Bata got injured? When he got the man of the match against CTM? When did Libiso get injured? That's the thing. The Pirates is supported by millions and millions of supporters. I believe the fans deserve to know the truth. What's happening with Kabelo Dlamini? What's happening with all the players that are there? Because this project of trying to test De Jong and put them and throw him Nemate Jela on the supporters' face, the supporters pay their own money to drive all the way to Orlando, to get leaves, to use public transport, to come back at night, to risk their lives. We know accidents in South Africa are a huge problem. Then you don't play the best players. You keep on putting Sendami every now and then. You putting De Jong. It doesn't work. Pirates, for me, as I'm standing today, I don't think they will win the league, coach. As long as the coach continue with this bias selection. Yes, I rate him highly. I've been saying that he's the best Pirates coach I've seen. Yes, the results are there. As I'm speaking to you now, Pirates is on top of the log. But I feel a lot needs to be done, coach, to improve the team. Coach, as you rep, I'm interested to know your overview of Sundowns. Obviously, Sundowns lost. I think we've spoken enough of Orlando Pirates, coach. I'm interested to know what is your take about Matsansansa in Afanaba style, right? Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club, obviously. Yes, Mamelodi Sundowns, coach, as we rep, they visited Kwamhlanga, where they bowed out 2-0. They lost, not even on penalties, straight away to TS Galaxy. Did you watch the game, coach? What's your assessment on it, if you did?
Unfortunately, I'm only about to watch the repeat, man. It also, as us as coaches as well, we're on the field. But when I saw the starting lineup, Nadim, I asked myself, hey, what is the coach trying to do? Is he trying to keep momentum or is he trying to prove a point? That's one thing because I believe, Nadim, when you win a big game, two back-to-back big games where you needed to win and you win them, you continue with that momentum. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You're looking at Sundowns now. They played today, and their next game is on what? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Where they are playing Amazulu.
They're playing Usutu coach on Tuesday.
Yeah, he could have afforded to start the same team and then, or maybe just make two changes. But to tweak the team the way he did, it never paid on. And especially if we know the history that Zamovic and who's this Rulani. Remember the fight that they created? They created a mini war, a mini Debinyana there. So looking at him, and also you look at the fact that where is TS Galaxy taking the team, the game to? Some things are plans, Nadim. It's a well-structured plan to say we are not taking them to Bombela, we are taking them to this stadium. It's going to frustrate them. And guess what? It was a sold out at that very same stadium. We see that firstly they were frustrated by the facility. And then he comes, he changes the team the way he did. Maybe he was too confident or too cocky for his liking. And unfortunately, for a Sundowns coach, you cannot be too cocky, especially when it comes to Cubs, because that's one thing that Sundowns does not specialize in. We all know that they are not their best when it comes to Cubs. So why become too cocky? I mean, you win the game, you are in the next round. How many games left? I think 3. You win those 3, you might find yourself in the final. So why be too cocky? I think he was too cocky. And you said that it's Steve Compella who's coaching. So are you now saying it's Steve Compella who was too cocky? Or Cardoso for me?
No, coach. I blame also Steve Kombela. I blame the coaching staff, obviously, coach. I'm not gonna give credit to Steve when they win, and then when they lose, I say it's Cardoso. No, coach, I'm not gonna be like that. I agree with you, coach. They gamble. They tried to gamble. It didn't pay off, coach. They thought they have quality players that anyone can come in and do the job, and it didn't work, coach.
Nadim, there's nothing wrong with quality. There's nothing wrong. We know they are quality, but not everyone is A grade. Others, yes, are quality at your team, but they are not an A grade. I mean, I looked at that lineup and like I'm saying, I thought, okay, maybe Cardoso has a plan. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go back and watch the highlights again. But Nadim, one, there's only two titles that are left in this league. It's the Betway, which you are second on. The other one is Nedbank. Yes, you're still playing Kev. We get this one. But the Nedbank, you've been struggling to win it. You have a chance. I mean, the only big team that was left when they played was Orlando Pirates. So one thought, okay, maybe in the final we might see them. Both of them. Oh, look at Coach Cardoso and his team go there, gamble, and the gamble didn't pay off. And unfortunately, I wonder if now that the fact that Pirates has lost is gonna ease pressure on him or at the team, because I think had Pirates won, looking at the fact that Pirates was on the verge of maybe having a quadruple, with them winning, it could have been mess for Sundowns. But I guess the football gods are in Coach Cardoso's heart. They are really saving him. All the teams are out. He can always come up and say, but all teams are out. But we don't know what will the sporting director said, because they said they hired him to win everything. So for me, Nadim, it was poor from Sundowns coach to win a big game against MC Alger, where he needed to win it by all means. And then he went to FNB to go and beat an on-form Orlando Pirates. And then to go and lose against TS Galaxy 2-0. You can't even score. Not even one. Not even lose to penalties. You have scored 2 goals against MC Alger. You have scored 2 goals against Pirates. And then when you need goals, knockout, you can't even score 1. Football is a game of consequences, Nadim.
Yeah,
Football is a
coach.
game of
Also,
results.
credit to the TS Galas goalkeeper, coach. He did so well. Was exceptional. I mean, I think he displayed a man of the match performance. So one would say Sundowns, they tried to bring their best players, Leon, second half, Mzumshishi. It didn't work. It was already TS Galaxy already 2-0 up. They defended very well, and they were lucky that the goalkeeper also came to the party.
Yeah, I know, Nadim. Now that you are saying those things because you saw the game, and I always say sometimes before we say Sundowns was playing bad, maybe let's give credit to the opposition and say the opposition did well. So I'm glad that you raised it. But you know, Nadim, I've got a question as we wrap. Did you see the lineup that played against Gomorrah, and then you see the lineup that is playing against TS Galaxy, and you ask yourself, which one is in the Betway Premiership? Is it Gomorrah or is it TS Galaxy? So against TS Galaxy, you feel okay, we can change about 8 players, and I don't know what the coaches think. Maybe if he was asked, or if we were to ask him, he's gonna tell us he's looking at Amazulu. Maybe there's a big fish, and there's a big fish that is coming, which is CAF Champions League. Hopefully they make it through. But Nadim, I think between you and I, we can agree that Nedbank as a sponsor, they've lost, man. I'm sure wherever
No,
where they are in.
Nedbank as a sponsor, they lost. And Amazulu on Tuesday, which I will tell you for free, they will beat Sundowns, Amazulu. Because they are going to KZN, where the best thing Sundowns they can come with today is a draw. A win is not going to happen because Atazwane, these boys from KZN, the way they are so committed. The thing with Sundowns, they think the big names don't play. Football, you don't play it with the big names. It's played on the pitch, just like Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates were taught a good lesson today. Football is played on the pitch. Just because you are playing in a beautiful stadium and you have superstars, you don't automatically win because you're Orlando Pirates. You have those players. You still need to perform on the pitch. Pirates failed to perform on the pitch. They couldn't score a goal against a team from NFD, which makes me wonder. I think Orlando Pirates, they can still win the league though. They just need to drop Sibis out of the team completely. He's not helping as a captain. They need to bring Sesana. They also need to bring the other players that they say they're injured. They say because we hear, but the website is saying they're not injured. Because we rely on the Orlando Pirates website. Even in their own shows, they say we must go to the website. When you go to the website, Mahopa is not injured. Then we don't see him coming on to play. Then they get to a point where the only fit striker at Orlando Pirates is Mbutuma. I don't even want to lie and become positive. Orlando Pirates, there was no way they can win the league with Mbutuma as the number one striker. Your last word, coach, as we read.
Nadim, one, CBC is still gonna play at Orlando Pirates, especially this season, and mainly because of just a few
Then
things.
if he plays then as a captain, because the CBC was not even supposed to be a captain. Coach, if he plays, the Pirates are not winning the league. I'm sorry.
Okay, I hear you. CBC is gonna play. That's one, and mainly the two reasons that I can give you. One, he's the captain, and he's one of the hard defenders we have, and I don't think the coach trusts Sesani that much. I mean, he never worked with him in the league. Ever since he got there, Sesani has been injured, so I don't think Sesani will play anytime now. Two, you spoke about Mbutuma. I think Mbutuma is the type of striker I heard you coach Wadu. You know, sometimes Nadim, when you do good, you become a bit arrogant. I think the coach was starting to be a bit arrogant. You hear him saying, yeah, we're going to come out and say it. We won the league. We want to win the league. But beginning he was saying we are humble. We take things easy. Now players are being lazy. Players don't want to work. I think Ukojuwatu is going to come down. He's going to realize that, you know what, he's at a big team. He's got a full week. I mean, Pirates hasn't really had a full week. They were off. Tomorrow they're going to be off. Monday they can come back for recovery. They've got a full week before the derby. So I think Butuma is still going to play. Yes, Mahopa is going to come back. I can assure you now, Mbata is going to come back. We saw it even in the beginning of the season where he was out. Things didn't go well. He came back. Things started going to as they are. I still think the league is still open. I don't think it's easy to say give it to Pirates now. I don't think that's the case. Sundowns is going to come up again. Pirates will come up again. Chiefs will decide the league for Pirates. Not that they will win the league. They will decide the league for Pirates with their 2 games. Yeah, Nadim, with the Nedbank, we know it has always been a trophy for giant killers. And unfortunately, it's been proven. So I'm challenging Skukuni coach. What's his name? Like Eric Tinkler. And who's this guy? Mangoba. To say this is a chance. This is a chance to go and win a trophy with those clubs. But remember, these are my last words. Remember, Dance Malisela once won this team with TS Galaxy beating Kaizer Chiefs. This team that just beat Mamelodi Sundowns now have once won the Nedbank Cup. Will this coach come and win it again? We don't know. Don't go on it. Yeah, thank you so much, Coach. Yes, Coach is right. TS Galaxy won the Nedbank Cup, while in the NFT they beat Kaizer Chiefs. Moses Mapita with Zakhele Lipasa's goal.
I would be happy to see Castle Stars going all the way to lift the trophy. It could be good for them. They could generate enough money while challenging to be in the PSL, because I want them to be in the PSL next season. Baxim Tomben has been trying very hard to improve the team. The people of Gamhlanga, you can see how hungry they are for football. When Sundowns were played TS Galaxy, it was sold out. That is the only match I think this weekend that was sold out. Imagine seeing that team in the NFT. Also, I mean, not obvious, it's TS Galaxy, plays in Bombela. I'm sure Baxim Tombeni will like to play there. Kwamhlanga. It's going to be very interesting season, of course, next season, depending who's going to be promoted. But obvious, congratulations to TX Galaxy, Golden Arrows, Castle Stars, all the teams that went through to the last 8 of the Nedbank Cup. Orlando Pirates, I'm sure they deserve to lose the way they played. They approach it as if they've already won. They couldn't even kick penalties for the captain, XBC, who cannot even make a goalkeeper saves. I mean, come on, guys. The coach did say even Daba has to be begged to go and kick a penalty. It means they don't even practice kicking penalties. Maybe they need to improve their preparations. I saw on the Pirates documentary where Ryan Jacobs said against Limpopo, they didn't know the Limpopo players. They didn't prepare the penalties. Really, you can't win this kind of competitions if you don't prepare, because penalties are always a possibility in cup competition. Goodbye, everyone. We'll come back tomorrow with the Soweto Derby. We'll start previewing it with the coach. Goodbye, everyone.